Zeldin's campaign says a man climbed on stage and attempted to stab him.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Women are getting pregnant every day in America, and this is a real issue, and we need to act with a sense of haste.
At this point, I have not made a decision about 2024.
To study slavery and develop reparation proposals.
Some guy ran on stage and tried to stab the New York gubernatorial candidate, also sitting congressman. You're never going to believe what happened to him. We have to talk about the Thursday evening Trump J6 committee hearing and the crazy media bias. Kamala Harris assumes that only women can get pregnant, that bigot. Reparations got brought up in Congress and so much more on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts, wait for it, right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
That might be the only brown guy in her name, Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live back in the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is July 25th, the year of our Lord 2022. After a long weekend, we're a little bit late because, it was a long weekend. Sorry about that, but we're here now, and we've got to talk about some of the crazy stories going on around the country and in the news. You probably have seen this, but there are recent developments coming out of the attempted murder of a sitting congressman and current GOP gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin. I'm going to play this clip from CNN. Then we're going to watch a different angle of it. It's crazy. The video is crazy that, one, this dude got on stage, and two, the congressman slash gubernatorial candidate was able to evade it. This is nuts. I think this guy is a little bit inebriated and was kind of slow in his stabbing motions. But this is wild. This whole thing is freaking wild. But then after we watch the videos, I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow your freaking mind. It is, if you live in a state that isn't New York or California, you will say, nah, that's not real. Anyways, watch this clip and we will go from there.
This morning, Republican candidate for governor of New York, Congressman Lee Zeldin, is safe after being attacked during a campaign event last night. Zeldin's campaign says a man climbed on stage and attempted to stab him. CNN's Bryn Gingras joins me now. Bryn, this was remarkable to see this man be able to get on stage that quickly, and luckily they are okay.
And I feel like we've kind of been seeing this in all different forms, right? I mean, we've seen this in comedy, now we're seeing it on the campaign trail. Republican congressman running for New York governor on that campaign stop in Monroe County last night. I want you to watch again what happened next.
This is our last stand for New York, and there's only one option.
Okay, so that video is a little bit difficult to see. We've got another 18-second clip of somebody right in the front live streaming it. Just, I don't know, for another angle. But I want to play that next, and then I'll tell you the thing that, again, will blow your mind. If you don't live in New York or California, if you live in New York and California, it's unfortunately normal. It isn't rational, but it happens all the time. That's what I mean by normal. Watch this one more angle of this, again, attempted murder of a sitting U.S. congressman and gubernatorial candidate in New York from this angle. Also, before we play this, if you wouldn't mind clicking the little like button or the little angry button, or the laughing button, because I don't know why you'd click laughing button. Maybe you're a sick person. Or give us a comment what you think is going on here. Or click the little share button. It really, really does help us out with the whole Facebook algorithm and all that sort of stuff, YouTube algorithm. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, would really, really appreciate it. Watch this one more time from this angle before I blow your mind all over the wall, because this is crazy. This is no way to run a country. Watch this.
Is our last stand for New York, and there's only one option.
What is he doing? What's he doing? Why did they let him get up there? Get over there.
Hold on. Get Lee out of here.
Yeah, That's wild. Just a different angle. You can see the guy clearly comes up, takes a swing. Again, I think he's probably drunk. Didn't really get I don't know. It was very slow. But thankfully, Lee Zeldin was able to block it with his hand, which is kind of that's a baller move right there. It's difficult to block a punch, let alone a dude with a stabby thing. I don't know what that's called. Here's the thing. Check this out. Here's the thing that is going to blow your freaking mind. I'm going to bring this comment up here because I want to talk about, this is exactly what I want to talk about. Nancy, whoever you are, you said, he is in jail. No, he is not. A person, this is real. A person walked up on stage of a sitting congressman and gubernatorial candidate, tried to stab him in the neck, and is walking amongst us today. You might be thinking, wait, hold on. This guy is not in jail right now? No. Let me read you this. Zeldin said, my first and foremost concern is about the cashless bail and the need to overhaul its dangerousness. The judges should have discretion into the weight of dangerousness about its victims. Zeldin said, who was attacked in Onondaga County. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that county's name. But the person who attacked us on stage last night has been released under his own recognizance. In the cashless bail system that New York has and California has, he's just out. This dude is just out. Now, there's another, this is another layer on layer here. I don't quite understand the difference between inches, almost, between attempted murder and murder. That's what I don't understand. This guy was charged with attempted assault in the second degree. Now, I don't know why it's just assaults. That I don't know the legal ramifications there. I don't know. I'm not a New York attorney or prosecutor, but he was charged with attempted assault in the second degree. Just again, hypothetically, play this out in your head with me. I know he was coming in kind of slow and looked probably inebriated doing so, but had Lee Zeldin missed the guy's arm coming in and gotten stabbed in the throat, as was this guy's intentions, he's charged with murder and looks at life in prison. But for some reason, because Lee Zeldin's hand was inches higher than the deathly inches lower, this guy's out walking among the streets. Make that make sense to me in your head. I don't understand the difference between why there's such a huge discrepancy between attempted murder, or at least whatever, attempted assault in the second degree, between that and actual murder. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. This idiot's name, 43, was charged with attempted assault in the second degree after he allegedly confronted Zeldin while giving a speech in Fairpoint, New York on Thursday night. The GOP lawmaker grabbed the attacker's wrist and stopped him several times as several other assistants tackled the assailant to the ground. This is insane to me. If that didn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. The cashless bail system and the soft on crime policies in both New York and California is crazy. I gave a quick interview to, I believe they're called the Financial Guys in Tampa this weekend, and he asked about cashless bail systems, and I think we can all agree on this. Look, we all collectively have decided on laws. Those laws are going to be enforced. Now, the argument from the lefty side of the aisle generally is, well, the jails are full. To which my response would be, build more jails. The jails are full. That doesn't mean the laws are now insignificant. We've all decided on a group of laws. And if the jails are full of people who've decided to break the law that we've all agreed on, time to build more jails. That seems to make sense to me in my head. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Should we be letting people out of jail because the jails are full, or should we build more freaking jails? Again, we've all agreed on the laws. So if people are going to continue to break those laws at record numbers, maybe we should build more jails. If you have kids in your house and all of a sudden you have another kid in your house and you're just like, oh, sorry, we just don't have enough food, so I guess you'll starve. No, you buy more food. That's just how the world works. I'm going to get off this because I want to get to this before we spend too much time belaboring this. So let's see. We didn't do a show on Friday that we were trying to. We did a show late on Thursday. This is a crazy weekend, and I'll talk more about this past weekend in Tampa at the TPUSA Student Action Summit, which was nuts, by the way. It's super fun, crazy good time, but also some interesting stuff coming out of that. There were protesters on Saturday. We'll talk about all of that tomorrow. But basically, we didn't get to do a show Friday. It was craziness. So I wanted to get this on. I wanted to make sure to get this on. The January 6th committee did one of their primetime things on Thursday night, which I usually ignore. I haven't really tuned into much of any of that January 6th stuff, as it is crazily biased on the Democrat side, and the Republicans, Adam Kissinger and Liz Cheney are, I don't know. If they didn't do such a biased hack job on it, it actually might be kind of informative, but they didn't, and we're left with what they've got. But I thought this was freaking fascinating, especially as a guy, me, who's come out of the video production world. If you're new to the show and you don't know that, I spent about 10 years as a political consultant / videographer / media person. In other words, I've done enough behind the camera work in front of bigger name politicians who are trying to get a script right or get messaging right on a video screen. On Thursday, during the primetime J6 committee hearings, they released the uncut footage, or, well, not uncut because they cut it, but some of the unreleased footage from Trump's the day after, so January 7th, address to the nation and the people. They released some of the outtakes of that, and from a guy who's done that sort of thing, I wanted to explain some things going on here. Now, I'm not generally the type of person that is going to jump to the defense of any particular politician, I don't think, but I will call out media bias anywhere it exists. This is how MSNBC portrayed the video clip that was released on Thursday night. I've got the MSNBC clip that they put out on their Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of their social media platforms. And then we have the full clip in which we can explain, oh, okay, so the big thing that they were hitting at is just factually wrong. Again, coming from a guy who's done all of these types of videos and edited these types of things. Anyways, watch this clip. If you haven't already, would really, really appreciate it if you click the little like button or the little share button or engage with the comment section in any way, shape, or form. Would really, really appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. But watch this. First, this is the way that MSNBC portrayed it, and then after that, we'll play the actual long clip. Watch this, and we'll point out the differences as we go.
And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going to, I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
Okay, so the latter part of that video, which I don't know why they kept in there, is just mistakes of a guy reading a teleprompter. Reading a teleprompter is harder than you'd think. I've done it enough times to where I go, oh yeah, okay, so I understand why people sometimes mess up on the teleprompter. That was the latter half of the video. The first part of that video is what everybody's focusing on. They cut it to where Donald Trump said, And if you broke the law, then I don't want to say that. I don't want to say broke the law. And they're making a huge deal about that. If you missed it at the front end of the video, that's what happened. He did say that. But right now, we're going to play the full thing in context, and I will explain to you why, from a syntax standpoint, the way people talk and don't want to repeat themselves, why that is completely and utterly BS. Watch this. This is the full clip, not the cut down MSNBC version, which does admittedly look bad. If he said, if you broke the law, I don't want to say broke the law. Nobody broke the law there. If he said that, that would be a problem. But that didn't happen. Watch this clip.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday, and to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement, you do not represent our country, and if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going. I already said you will pay.
All right, so we could play the longer version of this, but did you see that right there? He said, if you broke the law, you will pay. The heinous attack yesterday, yada, yada, yada. And if you broke the law, he says, if you broke the law twice. Just from a script writing syntax position, you don't say that. If you say things repetitively, guess what? You end up sounding like Kamala Harris. So when MSNBC cuts off that first part, it looks bad. It looks like the president is saying, if you broke the law, then you will pay, or I don't want to say broke the law, because nobody broke the law. That's what it looks like. But if you played the whole thing in context, he says, if you broke the law, you will pay. This was a heinous attack. If you broke the law, and wait, I don't want to say broke the law twice. I already said that the first time. Dude, like, again, I think, and you don't have to agree with me, I think Donald Trump did a lot of things wrong on January 6th. None of this J6 committee stuff really changed my mind on that. But at the same time, be honest about it. That's all I'm asking. At least I'd try not to. I would never take AOC or Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden completely out of context. Everything should be in the context in which it's said. And if you're not doing that, you're just flat out freaking lying. Anyways, speaking of flat out freaking liars, we'll leave that there. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I could play a bunch more of this stuff, but it's, again, just a guy fumbling around with the teleprompter because teleprompters are difficult to have or to use. So this is, this is just apparently how we're doing things. I promise on this show, I will, to the best of my ability, keep things in context. Maybe I'll slip up, and maybe you can let me know in the comment section, hey, you missed this part, and I will fully and wholly accept that I accidentally did that. But it will never be on purpose. What MSNBC and what a lot of your super lefty news outlets do will take things out of context on purpose to drive audience viewership, drive home the base, and all that sort of stuff, and that is not a fair way to conduct bringing people the news. Obviously, I have a perspective, but if you're not fair, who cares? Let's get on to some lighter fare here, because everything is a lighter fare. Oops, I did it again. Kamala Harris said something that we played in the video intro, which I think is hilarious. She's not good at talking. Okay, I went here and just went on this big, long screed about sometimes reading a teleprompter is hard. But at the same time, Donald Trump, who spoke at the event that I was at on Saturday, actually, technically speaking, I opened up for Donald Trump this weekend on Saturday. You know, I spoke at the event at 11:30 in the morning, and he spoke at 7 p.m. at night. But technically speaking, we were on the same stage. So where was I going with that? Anyways, Donald Trump spoke at the event. He spoke for like 2 hours, I think, completely extemporaneously, which what I'm trying to say is he can talk without having to read a script all the time. When you want to get something exact, you use a teleprompter and you get your messaging correct. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, this is where I'm going with this. I'm circling back. Jen Psaki, circle back. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, is not good at either. She's not good at reading scripts, and she's definitely not good at speaking extemporaneously. So we're going to play this. Watch this. If you haven't already, click the little like button, the little share button, or engage with the commentary if you want. I don't know. You can comment congrats for opening for the president this weekend. Among several other big-time speakers. Yeah, give us a comment, interact with the post in some way, shape, or form. It really, really does help us out. Watch this from Kamala Harris about pregnant women.
To put it in law, there may be litigation, but we will be in a much better position than to not do that. And, listen, women are getting pregnant every day in America. And this is a real issue, and we need to act with a sense of haste about what is at play, what is at stake, and codify.
She just goes on and on and on. Women are getting pregnant every day in this country, and that is a real issue. Excuse me, Kamala, and men? It's hard to do that with a straight face. But one, yeah, we'll get to the obvious part, but yeah, women are getting pregnant every day, and men, and non-binaries, and people who identify as cats, maybe, or people who identify as toasters. All of those things can also get pregnant, Kamala, you bigot. But then again, to the main point that everybody's talking about is women getting pregnant is a problem in America? Is that something that we have discussed and talked about? I think it's been going on since the dawn of time, since at least humanity started. Maybe that isn't such a weird thing. Anyways, obviously Kamala Harris misspeaking as she often does. We're going to roll on here and get to, let's get to this. This is Liz Cheney, the Democrat heading up, wow, Freudian slip. The Republican heading up the Jan 6 committee hearings on State of the Union over the weekend, when being asked if she's made a decision whether or not to run for president in 2024. Check this out. We'll laugh together on the other side of this. Watch.
I haven't really, at this point, I have not made a decision about 2024. And I am really very focused on the substance of what we have to do on the Select Committee, very focused on the work that I have to do to represent the people of Wyoming. And I'll make a decision about 2024 down the road. But I do think as we look towards...
All right, we don't need to listen to the rest of that. I got this whole clip here talking about yada. Liz Cheney not ruling out a presidential run in 2024. She might not be a congresswoman anymore, as the polls are indicating that she's not going to re-win her seat in Wyoming, but still possibly going to run for president. I don't think that would be good at all for her. I don't think she gets... We can talk about the political implications of that, and the demographics and all that sort of stuff, and get into the weeds on the voting block in the primaries, especially for a presidential election, especially when there's no incumbent Republican. But we won't. Rhonda says, she's a joke. Yes. Gabriel again. Gabriel, dude, this guy, you're always on here, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. He's a Democrat. Yeah, Freudian slip there. No, she's technically a Republican, but I don't think she's very well received by the Republican Party nationally or very much in Wyoming. So there's that. I want to get to this before we close out today. You know what? Yeah, this is Congresswoman Jackson Lee, I believe is her name, talking about reparations. Well, we'll just play this. Check it out.
We have worked hard to ensure the Ninth Amendment and the equal protection of the law are viable parts of American society and constitutional rights. I rise today to promote H.R. 40, the Commission to Study Slavery and Develop Reparation Proposals, as a way of redress, repair, and restoration for the 246 years of slavery. I think it is important and an important moment for the country to pause and understand this historic moment in our history. All
right, that's enough of that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get through these things because I don't know. I had a long weekend, and I'm honestly kind of tired. Congresswoman Jackson Lee says, I rise today to promote the commission to study slavery and develop reparation proposals as a way to redress, repair, and restoration for the 246 years of slavery. Was slavery bad? Yes. Was it not the norm? No. Not the norm? No. It was, again, every culture around the world since the dawn of time has had some slavery in some way, shape, or form. There are more slaves in the world now than there were back then. Again, this is not at all in any way, shape, or form condoning any sort of slavery. But to say that it was a heinous attack only by white men in the United States of America is not accurate at all. In the same token, how do you actually get reparations? How does that work? Anybody with more pigment than other people get more money? Or if you can trace your family all the way back to slaves, but in that case, how far does that go? Do people who can trace their family's slavery all the way back to, let's just say Egypt, let's go biblical, do they get reparations from the United States, or is it only if you were a slave in the United States? In which case, what if you were a slave in the Gulf of Mexico islands there, and your family were slaves there, which is not a part of the United States? Do you also get There are so many questions that make this thing impossible to solve. You can poke holes in it any which way you can, just not possible. But she is trying to promote a commission to study slavery in the development and then develop reparation proposals. So there is that. You know what? That is, I got some stuff on inflation, but we'll leave that for tomorrow, as it's more about the recession, the impending recession. But also tomorrow, I'm trying to get Drew Hernandez. I don't know if you guys know who Drew Hernandez is. He's a colleague of mine. I want to talk tomorrow kind of extensively. I know we had a bunch of stuff to get to that I wanted to get to because it's the weekend and stuff happens over the weekend. And then Friday was crazy. But I want to talk about this event that I went to on this weekend from like Friday to Sunday, the Student Action Summit in Tampa, the TPUSA event, in which so check this out. This is kind of funny. Technically speaking, the lineup for this event went Senator Ted Cruz, Governor Ron DeSantis, then Jobob. That's technically what the agenda looked like. Now, I say technically because Ted Cruz spoke on Friday night, Ron DeSantis spoke on Friday night, and he closed out the show on Friday, and I spoke on Saturday morning. But technically speaking, I followed Ron DeSantis. I know. Save your applause. It's a huge honor. Technically speaking, that happened. I guess also technically speaking, I opened the day that President Trump was there also. Man, it was wild. I would like to talk about that because there were protesters outside. I want to see if Drew can come on and talk about this. If he's busy, he's a very busy guy. Maybe we won't get him, and I'll play some video from the clips out there. But the protesters outside the events are very, very fun. The protesters protesting what's going on inside, which is promoting freedom, which I don't quite understand why that's your objective. I hate freedom. We're going to go protest. But then outside you had different factions. I need to stop. You had different factions of protesters, and that interaction was all hilarious, honestly. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow, kind of in depth, because I thought that was funny. Anything else to mention or talk about? Did a stand-up set there, too, so maybe we'll post that on any of the platforms. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. There they are. The Facebook one is still wrong. This is just an ongoing joke with the show. The Facebook is never right. It's just the Jobob. But just type in Jobob pretty much anywhere. You'll be able to find me. Getter. I'm going to be on Getter more. We had some conversations at this event, and also some other video streaming platforms. I don't know if you go to Rumble. We're doing a lot of different things here at the Daily Caller and myself personally. So give me a follow on your social media accounts, and you can find out what we're doing on any of those if you haven't already. That's going to do it for us today. Really appreciate you sticking around, tuning in, helping us debunk some of the craziness over the weekend and the last week. We will see you tomorrow and hopefully have just as good of a day. See you then. God bless America.